Hello again. There are 3 videos right now on my channel with me wearing this sweater and this hairstyle because I filmed them all in one day. I'm not apologizing, I just have to do a lot of multitasking when it comes to this. But anyway, I thought it would be a good time, since I am in Clinique and have been for a few years now, to give you a list of my top 10 Clinique products. Clinique is not my favorite cosmetic brand. I'm going to be the first to admit it because, as you know, I have been in retail and in luxury cosmetic brands in the past, and I still adore Clarins probably as my #1 brand all around when it comes to makeup and skincare. But since Clarins is not as accessible, especially because the price range is quite a bit higher, I do feel like it's great that companies like Clinique exist because they still give you a good quality, but they also give you a lower price tag. And for those of us who came straight from straight out of the drugstore makeup community, and are just sort of newly introduced to higher end cosmetics, I feel like it's a great transitional brand. So I thought I would go ahead and give you my top 10 Clinique products because over the years I have tried everything pretty much. And there are some things that I feel like are a little ho-hum, some things that I absolutely love, and some things that I feel like you could, are good, but you could probably find lower priced items a little cheaper. So anyway, I'm gonna go from 10 to 1. So my number 10 product, and a product that I'm relatively new to, that I really like, but that I have only recently begun to use in earnest, so I can't necessarily qualify giving you a long-term review of it, is the Even Better Dark Spot Corrector and Optimizer. The Even Better Dark Spot Corrector is actually a very well received and renowned product for dark spot correction. Now, because dark spot correction works from the inside out and has to break up the melanin underneath the skin before it can actually show visible results on top of the skin, you may not even see a result from the first bottle of this. It may take 6 to 8 months to actually see any kind of lightening when it comes to the melasma or just sunspots or anything like that. So I will say that when it comes to instant gratification in dark spot correction, it ain't gonna happen. Get a concealer. But I will say that Even Better Clinical is very easy on my skin, and I have had a lot of issues with the dark spot correction from other companies that have just made my skin utterly too sensitive and have also burned quite a bit, and this one does not. And one of the reasons for that is this optimizer that has been included. So when you actually squirt this out, it's 2 products in one. It comes out together, and then you mix them on your hand and then press them into your skin. The optimizer is there as sort of a corrector, but also it helps to desensitize the skin, and it helps to treat the skin effectively from the outside as the dark spot corrector is working from the inside. So it's a really great way to kind of make the product more gentle, but also to make it a little bit more effective. I am really a fan of this. People come back and buy it over and over. This is my first full-size bottle of it, so I can't, like I said, vouch for how much the product actually works on dark spots yet. What I will say is that it does seem to smooth and brighten the skin immediately. So that's something that I feel like will, in the long term, really help with the dark spots and just sort of evening out the skin tone. Just my feelings on that. Number 9, I am going to go with the, what am I going to go with? High Lengths. I'm going to go with High Lengths Mascara. This is a mascara that is not the most popular mascara Clinique offers, but I think I've mentioned in videos prior, it is by far the most interesting. It is a lengthening mascara that has this sort of wand. It's like a comb, a U-shaped comb, and it really does lengthen the lashes. It gets to all of the little bitty ones that you kind of probably didn't know existed, and I love the shape of it. I love the fact that it coats every single lash with a very black formula, but it also is really easy to kind of define those tips. This is a great lengthening mascara, and to me this is the best quality lengthening mascara that I've tried. I really have always loved the telescopic mascara from L'Oreal, and I feel like that this is a very similar formula, but it is a little easier on my eyelashes and that they don't break or get brittle after I use it. So Clinique mascaras have always been a very conditioning mascara, a really good one for me. So I really strongly recommend this High Lengths mascara if you are someone who prefers length over thickness. And if you want to layer it with a thickening mascara, you absolutely can. Number 8. This foundation brush is kind of magical. This is the buffing face brush. Actually, I don't even remember what it's called. I have sold so many of these at work and I don't even know for sure what it's called, but it's a pricey brush. I mean, it's up close to the $40 range. I will say, however, that it really, really lasts. This handle will likely break off before any of these bristles come out. That's a pretty big deal to me because I've had many, many buffing brushes for the face where I've had to worry about the bristles coming out or becoming sparse, and I have not noticed that with this brush. It is very well made, very sturdy, and as you can see, it's got 2 little layers of bristles. This one needs to be cleaned, but it's got 2 little layers of bristles, and the soft white bristles on the top really, really help with stippling on your foundation, and then the more sturdy, thick bristles on the bottom really help with buffing. So this is a buffing foundation brush for liquid foundation that is sort of magical. If you're somebody who really likes the Beyond Perfecting foundation that Clinique offers, this is the best way to apply it. Beauty Blender also works pretty well, but it's such a thick formula that I feel like the buffing action really, really helps when it comes to making it look even and neat. This is the best brush that Clinique has to offer, but also I feel like it's one of the best foundation brushes on the market. So the only negative to this being the shape of it, it's really hard to get to little crevices around the nose. It's really, really hard to get a little definition around the eyebrows if you're somebody who likes to do your eye makeup before your face makeup. So that's a negative, but I think that's a negative with most buffing brushes and something to consider about this one as well. If you have the money for a good buffing face brush and you don't really want to shell out the money and you don't have any problems with investing in a good quality one that maybe has a little price tag to match, this is a great choice. Numbers. Something relatively new that Clinique has to offer is this Fresh Pressed line, which is like a vitamin C boosting line. There is a serum that you can mix in with your moisturizer, and it does have a shelf life, so it starts to expire right after you open it. But it does work really well as far as like just brightening and smoothing the skin. This Fresh Pressed Renewing Powder Cleanser, though, is by far the star of that line, I feel like. It is incredible, and you can get it in these packs of, I think this is a month's supply, but it comes in these little envelopes. I only use it a couple of times a week, but anytime that I use this, I definitely see a difference in the way that my skin tone looks, and I love it. It's something I probably would use every day if I felt the need. But I think using it a couple times a week has been fine for me. But all you do is you open it up, you pour it into your hand. It's like a vitamin C powder, and then you mix it with water and scrub it into your skin. It's got a slight texture to it, but not a lot, and it really, really works quickly. It almost like buffs and smooths, silks the skin out, if that makes any sense. And I'm a huge fan of the Fresh Pressed line, but I really, really, really like the Renewing Powder Cleanser. I think it's incredible. So I like to have this on hand. Especially for the winter time, because I feel like in the winter your skin kind of can get a little bit more dull, so it definitely works with sort of brightening up the skin in that regard. Number 6, Take the Day Off Cleansing Balm. Now I only have this in a small travel size right now. It comes in a big jar, and I think I've talked about it before. If you are someone who likes cold cream, or if you're someone who likes, for instance, Pure Melt Cleansing Gel from Clarins has that great gel to oil consistency, this is your best friend. This is a makeup removing balm. So it starts out as a balm, looks like a balm in the container, and then you dig it out, you know, moisten it in your hands or kind of massage it into your hands, and it will turn into an oil. And then you can massage it all over your face. You can massage it into your eyelashes. I believe it's safflower oil that is in here, but it is a water-soluble oil. So once you actually massage it into your skin, you can rinse it off. I don't really rinse it off. I tend to use a wipe, like a makeup removing wipe, to sort of get the residue off and to sort of get it off my eyelashes. But I've noticed that since I started using this, I don't really need an eye makeup remover anymore. It is amazing. And it's a great thing to have as your makeup remover, especially since you can get it in these little smaller jars. You can carry it with you, and it's way easier than carrying a big old bottle of that oily makeup remover. But it works amazingly well. And there are other brands that make similar products. This is just one of my favorites. that Clinique has to offer. The Estee Lauder one smells amazing, and it's the same type of thing, and the one from Kaylin. So this one's just one like that. So it's why it's a little farther down on the list, even though I do use it all the time. Number, what am I on? 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Number 5. Clarifying lotion. This is the non-alcohol one for sensitive skin, the Formula 1.0. I also use the Formula 1 and the Formula 2. My skin is very dry, but it just kind of depends on what I have on hand and what I feel like using. The number 2 has a menthol in it, so it tingles a little bit more, but this is your step 2 after you wash your face. It acts as like a toning, clarifying lotion exfoliator. So they all contain a balance of salicylic acid, whatever's best for your skin type. And this one is excellent for dry or very sensitive skin. It has no alcohol in it, so it doesn't have any tingle to it, but it still has the balance of salicylic acid, and it works really well for kind of smoothing the skin. This is what Clinique calls the skin changer, and I have to agree with that. I feel like that this is a necessary step for me in my skincare, and even if I went to using a more luxury brand in the future that offers toners, I would still use the clarifying lotion from Clinique because I love the exfoliating properties. I love the fact that it's so fragrance-free, and then the fresh feeling that it leaves my skin. So they have this, like I said, in every skin type that you would need it in. I really, really love the number 2 the best as far as how it makes my skin feel. It's got that like level of tingle to it. But when in the winter time, I feel like this 1.0 works really well. And I use it instead of like a micellar cleansing water. I was using my Clarins Peach Water Comfort Cleanser, which I love, and that was my liquid cleanser that I used in the morning instead of washing my face. I let this substitute for that now because I'm out of it, but I also love this just as much, even without the wonderful little luscious peach scent. And it's not really a micellar cleansing water, but it does have that cleansing property. You can absolutely cleanse with it, but it also has the exfoliation property, so I feel like makeup applies better, moisturizer absorbs better. This is just something I always have on hand, so it's very, very high in the rankings in Clinique product. Number 4, Colourpop lipstick. Best lipstick Clinique has, I feel like. Have it on today. Absolutely love this lipstick. It is gorgeous. It's one of their pop formula, which actually stays a really long time without ever feeling dry. This is not a matte lipstick, but it also is long lasting. Love it. Love, love, love. This is a gorgeous color. I've worn it in many of my videos. It's sort of a deep brick Merlot color, and yeah, it's a big winner in my book. They have other great colors. They've got a color called Passion Pop that's a beautiful red in the same line, and then they've got one called Punch Pop that's a gorgeous pink in the same line. I think that's my favorite red lipstick of choice in the summer because it's that bright fuchsia. But man, this is a gorgeous fall color, and it looks great with a darker lip liner, but you can also put it with a nude lip liner, and it'll give you a little bit more of a more subtle look to it. So Colourpop lipstick. It's amazing. Okay. Next, number 3, the Pretty Easy Lining Pen. This is my black liquid liner of choice. I love the Kat Von D tattoo liner as well, but the Kat Von D tattoo liner is not as easily accessible for me since I work in Clinique, and it makes me happy that this liner works almost as well. The only thing that is a little different about this is that it does react to tears. So if my eyes start tearing in the corner, this will run a little bit. However, for the most part, it's very long lasting, stays all day, dries completely black. And it does have a little bit of shine to it. If that is of concern to you, then you may not want to use this one. But of course, the number 1 thing that makes me love it is the fact that it is a brush tip instead of a felt tip, which means you can control it and there's a lot better flow to the color. So the Pretty Easy Lining Pen has been my liquid liner of choice for the past 3 years or so. When I discovered it, I was so relieved that there was another brush tip liquid liner that worked well for me. We have another area of our store called the Edge Shop that has like a lot of different brands, from Stila to Smashbox to Anastasia to all these other brands, and not one liquid liner has ever held a candle to this at my store. And I think that's just simply because most pen liners like this are going to be a felt tip. A lot of people love the like sketching action of a felt tip. I hate it. So I like being able to do a smooth, consistent wing without any issues, and I love how this just wears and how it looks. So love it. Number 2, it was really a toss-up for me between 2 and 1. I think y'all probably know what number 1's going to be, but Black Honey eyeshadow. I love the Black Honey lip product. I love the Black Honey blush, but the Black Honey eyeshadow is one of the most gorgeous eyeshadows in the world. If I had to choose one eyeshadow color that I couldn't do without, it would be this one. It's a warm, kind of rusty, frosty brown. It goes on almost like a reddish brown, but just smoked out by itself with one single brush over the lid, it's a beautiful, beautiful look. And I feel like if an eyeshadow can perform completely alone and be like the star of the show, I think that says a lot for it. So the Black Honey eyeshadow, this is the only one I have right now because I found it in a tester and I was like, I'm gonna take it. So this is my only one right now because I'm out of my actual full-sized one, but of course I'll purchase it because it's incredible. I really don't know what I did before Black Honey eyeshadow. It's so pretty blended out in the crease. And like you can't really see, like maybe right now you can, but like when you do a cool color, you can just put this ever so lightly over it and it will warm it up just a little, just enough to give it that little bit of warmth that makes it look a little bit more, look softer. And so because I like warm eyeshadows so much, but I also like to use purples and pinks and things like that, I feel like this is sort of the answer to that, because when you add it to the purples and pinks, it just warms it up ever so slightly. It's gorgeous. It's sort of the same, I guess, mentality as using a warm color in the crease when you're doing a dark smoky eye, because it just makes the eyes look a little bit more awake. That's kind of how I feel about it. Black Honey eyeshadow. If you have never had this eyeshadow, you have nothing to lose by going and getting it because it will be your new favorite eyeshadow. And it looks so pretty like underneath the eye as well. So Black Honey. And number 1. This jar is almost completely gone. I've been through so many jars of Moisture Surge. I don't know. There's nothing like Moisture Surge. If any of you have ever used Moisture Surge, you probably know why. If you have dry skin, it makes a perfect primer under foundation. If you have oily skin, it makes a perfect moisturizer. It's just one of those things that everyone of all skin types and all ages can use almost out of this one. I even like the smell. There's not really a smell to it, but I really, really love the way it smells. It's sort of comforting to me. And this has got that boost of aloe water and hyaluronic acid and all that good stuff in it that really helps replenish your skin's natural ability to create moisture. But yada, 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 I don't care. It feels great. It's just one of those things that I have to have all the time. Every single time that I put my makeup on, I wear this. And even if I don't put my makeup on, I'll just come in and slather it on. You can use it in your hair. You can use it on your feet. It sort of sloughs off dead skin somehow. And I feel like anyone whose skin looks dull, if I put this on them at work, it immediately wakes their skin up. So I only have a couple of minutes left on my battery pack, so I'm gonna let you go. But I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions about this or any other Clinique products, let me know.